All right, Max Keiser here in a final segment with him. Finish up your point on the economy and what you expect the power structure to do. And then I want to get your take on Egypt. And then also the comical nature of MSNBC now, where they say Ron Paul's racist, Rand Paul's racist, with no evidence. But at least there they have somebody else's newsletter and some quasi thing. With me, they don't even give a source. In fact, let me ask you that now. I don't know if you've been following this, but they're doing it in a bunch of newspapers, too. It's a new form of propaganda that's so ham-fisted. What do you think that is, Max Keiser?
To tell you the truth, I don't know what you're talking about. The last race incident in the U.S. that I followed was the race-related incident, was the Trayvon Martin situation.
No, there is no incident. There is no incident. They just say Alex Jones is profoundly racist and is behind the Boston bombing. They just...
right. Yeah, the Boston bombing thing. Well, the mainstream media has decided that they need to try to explain to their audience why America is turning into a hellhole. And so they need to scapegoat somebody, and they decided to try to scapegoat your listeners. Fortunately, your listeners are smart enough to not fall for this.
No, I agree with you, but you're a smart guy. I mean, you've got your ear to the ground. I mean, you told us about Grace for it happened, you name it. I'm saying it kind of freaks me out, though, that it's so fruitcakey and so discrediting for them. Like, that's even scarier that they're that crazy to say, I'm behind the Boston bombing, no proof, and I'm deeply racist, and not even say what I said. I mean, it's like, that's like, if I wanted to discredit my show, I would do things like that to people. I just don't, I don't usually bring myself up. It's just, I'm trying to get your take on why they're doing that.
Yeah, but you have to compare yourself to, this is why Bradley Manning is going to spend the rest of his life in jail. Julian Assange lives in a embassy here in London. Edward Snowden had to seek asylum overseas. I mean, they're at the burning point of the spear in terms of rebelling against a tyranny. They are the George Washingtons of our day, and you are the Paul Revere of our day. So, and mainstream media is in bed with the monarchs. They're in bed with the royalists. They'll do anything to preserve their rent-seeking and their gulag casino state. So, and they're part of that. All the New York Times
I agree with you. I agree with you. But I think Coke admitting their profits are plunging and begging everyone to drink their poison, and these guys saying I'm a racist with no proof, I think it is chicken with the head cut off desperation.
Well, they can't see. Let me repeat something here, because I think it's a very important point. For 30 years, every time a company made a mistake, they could just write off the mistake and still be able to finance themselves because the bond market was in a 30-year bond market. As of 6 months ago or a year ago, the bond market, which is where companies and governments go to get money, has now turned into a bear market. So Coke, they can't finance themselves as easily as they were able to. The government can't finance itself. That's why the government buys 70, 80% of its own debt on all the Western economies, because it's the money is just drying up. The liquidity is drying up. And they'll say it's a liquidity problem. We need more quantitative easing, more money printing, but it's an insolvency problem. These banks are insolvent. The government is insolvent. But they want to deflect attention, and they want to put Bradley Manning in jail. They want to put Julian Assange in an embassy. They want to put Edward Snowden into asylum, and they want to put Alex Jones on the back foot, because they need scapegoats, because they are now in a position where they are no longer able to finance their even Rush Limbaugh, his audience is deserting him. He's finding it difficult to go forward. Even those kind of mega coast-to-coast radio behemoths, it's all coming unwound now. So if Rush Limbaugh is falling, he's miles above the rest of the mainstream media from the old helter-skelter line, coming down fast, but I'm miles above you. But I get what you're saying. Things are in deep trouble. But finally, you've been to Egypt. You know the lay of the land. I don't support military mowing people down. And I know that Mubarak was bad, too, but they're trying to put the Muslim Brotherhood in that's even worse. What's your take on all this craziness? Well, I just saw a headline that Mubarak is now cleared of some charges, and he may be back. Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so it looks like Egypt's come 360. It's come full circle, and it's a tragedy. And I know when I was in Cairo and I reported on your show from Cairo, I was very excited by the Arab Spring. And I really am heartbroken by the fact that Nobody came to support the Egyptians. The Americans left them to die, just like they left the Vietnamese to die. Nobody came for their help, and now the bad guys are back in control. It's another American they talk a good game, but when you have to deliver, they're not your friend. They don't deliver. They leave you in the
that's because
field
it's
somewhere to
not
get
an
shot.
American government. It's a globalist government. You know that. Max Keiser, thank you so much for your insight. Now, get some sleep, brother. Thank you so much for spending time with us.
Bye.
I joke because he always says it's past his bedtime. We'll be right back.
Now you can watch the INFOWARS Nightly News streaming live as it happens for free.
Check it out at INFOWARS.com/show.